So, trying to at least enjoy food. It's not depression. I know what major depression is. This is what in the fuck were those goddamn people thinking and continuing the fucking hell, thinking I wouldn't at least talk about it publicly? Did they think I was too afraid to speak about it publicly? They obviously don't know me very well. It's not like, millions of people are viewing my videos and they're going viral. That's not the point of it. Not at all. The point of this is so that I can detail my life and my perspective and my experience with it, as well as a lot of the symptoms that doctors just, were too goddamn arrogant to recognize. A cardiologist, because I felt the need for it due to knowing my heart palpitations. Oh well. Your nails clicking across the floor remind me of men and their fucking handcuffs and rattling them nonstop, which is a huge trigger for a flashback. You're pretty much liable for those things. Look it up. Oh, they check every 15 minutes with their flashlight, and that's what fucking fractured my faggoty ass skull, according to them. Hooray. Trying to eat with no teeth. Just like my ex-husband should have thought about all of this before blindsiding me with his heroin addiction. Just like Mr. Boggs should have questioned Hilltop and the other dumbasses that I've already mentioned, including Christy Locust, whatever, and Kim Henderson Monteith, instead of questioning me about his ego being bruised with his drug peddling department. To Kim Razor, failing at due process, at least in my goddamn opinion, believing old family friend law enforcement, if you catch my goddamn drift, and the medical friends covering it since I was 6. But oh well, I have no right to be upset, do I? So forgive me if I no longer feel sorry for the people playing the victims. Colonel Jordan Palmer, Fayette County, Kentucky, told me to stop playing the victim. I don't play the victim. People like my family have been the victims all their lives, and you just look pretty for a camera. Shall I talk about the beer underage with you? Now there's something squeezing my right wrist again, reaching for my vapor, then squeezing my right wrist. Sick, sick, sick. The sickest pieces of shit you can imagine. Trying to reach for a drink of water. There is no ice water in hell. That was the logical explanation for grabbing my right wrist and holding it for reaching for a drink of water. Oh well, hooray. From my own goddamn immediate family. So for you sick pieces of shit to sit there and say it was all unintentional, that it's all uncalled for, oh well. So let me tell you about Barbara Reese Kading asking where the rest of it is and their goddamn fucking drugs in their fucking family. I don't need another crash course in your all's goddamn fucking hypocritical religion. Hooray, thank you. So let me tell you about the license plate on the Solara, Chelsea Ann Rideout, and their goddamn ties to the fucking lace drugs and her goddamn ties in the school district. Hooray! So thank you. Now, shall I talk more about Carolyn Caproni, their ties to the newspaper and that fraudulently false information publicized, or Limestone Crimestone Cablevision and their goddamn invasion of privacy and shit service? I have had it up to here with their goddamn shit, including Chelsea and Colin. Or shall I go back more into the Gardners and the Flax and the Spences and the heroin and OxyContin fucking stupidity? With brass ring badge backing. Toby Gardner's good with falsified reports, huh? So was Elaine Gardner. Aflax aunt? In medical? Yeah. Oh, sorry, I'll try to keep it down. Night. See you in the morning's what I heard, but who knows what she said. They just think I understand them in every fucking turn. If this is religion, if you don't like it, take it up with the fucking lawyers. So, this skull fracture. I think it's time that these fucking dumbasses finally admit what they did, including Bonnie and Debbie. And Taylor and Karen and Bobby and Stocky. Oh, and don't forget John. It would be nice to be left alone without some dumbass coming in to feel my pulse and doing everything else that they feel like they need to do in their goddamn continued science experiment. Hooray, oh well. So let me tell you about the mental duress inflicted leading to my goddamn suicide, of which they thought that they could fix with more stupidity. Oh, and then the stupid-ass explanation for all of it was, I told you we all had our place in the lake of fire. Shut that goddamn ignorant shit up. And that's how my mother would go around. So now, 2 points. You understand now what my sister meant when she said, this house belongs to my mother now. 2, me being them threatening to tie me to a tree and rape me to pay my rent down there. That is how they believe. Cameron Blau obviously didn't give a shit. So, oh well. So for the Catholic stance of, suicide's the ultimate sin. Being gay is a sin. I'll tell you what a sin is. Playing cosplay with a Catholic judge as a little boy. And I don't mean Cameron Blau. I just love the complex tics and tremors that they see as self-harm. I really doubt those doctors diagnosed it as the shits of the mouth. Or recorded it, I mean. So while I was made to feel guilty for food and shelter and what little medical care that we did get, because, like Jim Cochran said, school bus driver for Lewis County, our parents brought us into this world and it's their right to take us out of it. You should not be allowed around children with that fucking attitude. Dollar General, Tollsboro, 57 in the AA. 2018? So I noticed the St. Clair video talking about the date rape shit in Mason County, and a nude photo has the most views. And then another one has double-digit views. Interesting. Very interesting. Most of them just have one or two, which is fine. I'm not doing this for anyone else. They could be deleted in a heartbeat, couldn't they? But oh well. People are probably saving them if they have a mind. So let me tell you again why I killed myself. All this because the adults had to lean on the children as parents because they weren't emotionally mature enough to handle it. At least in my family. With my sister being the elder one, because, Kevin flew as soon as he could. He was a man, more adept at handling things, even though, Dad drove him fucking crazy as hell, too. My sister, as I stated, was a pot-smoking drunk by at least junior year. I can remember it just like it's right in front of me, like a hallucination. Jay Henderson on the carpet. She had this weird ivy carpet with her mattress and box springs just directly on it on the floor, no box springs, in the room that was my bedroom then in Mason County, the one Deputy Hull didn't ask about the spray on the walls. My sister sitting on the bed with her, I think she was Jack Daniels. Don't ever let that get to you. Where in the fuck have you been? You've always been a hateful bitch, and you always will be. So, oh well. With my alternative lifestyle and my hands too disgustingly dirty to put ice cubes into a cup. Fill your own goddamn glasses at the meal. I don't have to cook. I choose to, so that we can try to have somewhat of a nice family meal without your brats offending me with the stupid shit you've been pumping into their heads. You would think my sister would reprimand her children for making homophobic or transphobic comments, not just for me, but for their own well-being for the future, but no. Oh well. Too worried about everything else. Like I stated, I begged her for help with our dying father. But I was the drug addict at home living off of him. It was my responsibility. Oh well, right? Oh well. Wham! Surely to God you've gotten over it by now. Well, yes, I got over it psychologically the same goddamn night. Sorry, the same goddamn night. The same goddamn night. The permanent injuries that it created were permanent and left me fucking fucked up. Having to get down on all fours to get up and down stairs. Oh, but look at you now. You do pretty well. Yeah, right. So, see, the neighbors would call me out for chanting at night, but then I could be able to call the cops about their dogs fucking screaming, but I don't, do I? Nobody ever liked my religion. No one ever liked my sexual orientation. They hated my gender identity and called me a liar about my disability. Well, thank you. You all go right ahead and play the victims. Traumatized by me trying to kill myself. Oh well. They preach the Bible. Preach it, preach it, preach it. Read Matthew chapter 5, verse 7. And that's why the Bible tells us to forgive our brother repeatedly. Brothers and sisters, repeatedly. I do not think I'm overreacting. I might have, well, my panic attacks can be bad. The Tourette's can get bad. Physical exacerbation makes it worse, especially with the severe asthma and bronchospasm, or whatever the fuck it is. So they want to make me feel guilty for all of their shit leading to my suicide. It's not going to happen. I can tell you that much. All the people involved should have thought about their actions before performing them, leading to mental duress at a level someone attempted to take their own life. While I can agree that it is mainly a choice, a lot of times, especially people with absolutely no fucking support, see it as the only option. I mean, look at famous people who have committed suicide. It's not some trend. You can only do so much, and some of the psychological reprogramming does more harm than good. What medications was Kate Spade on? What medications was Robin Williams on? I never even bothered to try to research it. But guess what? Those medications, all of them, have the possible side effect of suicide. So yeah, that dog's been screaming for like 5 minutes. Oh well, that's part of humanity. People never did like my religion compared to theirs because it didn't fit into their picture perfect world. Or I should say their picture perfect world view. I know, because most patients know what will help them. I know my medical records being corrected, amended to document the correct diagnoses would help a hell of a lot. Would help a hell of a lot. They act like that's too much of an imposition. I'm going to talk to my PCP about it some more on the 1st when I see him. So let me tell you about pepper spray and handcuffs as a severe asthmatic patient and then withholding a rescue inhaler. Another reason that I can't really feel my right hand. So I'd like to see the use of force report from that night in 2005. And like I also stated, between the years Mr. Boggs was elected into office and that incident with MPD in 2012, there are at least 2 to 3 incidents that probably are not recorded at all. But I really would love to see that use of force report from 2005. Or is that too goddamn overly burdensome? You know, when the cop threatened to physically harm me, to make sure I'd never be able to drive again, with the hazing from his own goddamn department. Well, now that I got that out of the way, about being hazed by MPD with them threatening to physically hurt me to the point I couldn't drive again, 2005. Shall I talk more about the women in which officers they pointed to in the date rape scenario? Or is that getting too goddamn deep? Thank you, Kim Razor. You know, I had started trying to talk about that too. Matt Lewis and Deputy Gill and Officer Pollitt and several others, thank fucking you for your contributions to humanity. Mason City government. There's that dog screaming again. It must sense my pain. Normally dogs only cry like that when their masters are killed. Normally I could eat that entire thing of lo mein in one setting. And huge thank you to Mr. Boggs for making me cry that day in 2015. I cried that day. So thank you. Oh well. I wanted to sell when Dad died and I was overruled by the fucking bitch. And not my mother. I think I'll go walking once this video uploads.